We're going to learn today how to order and compare integers. So the first thing we want to talk about is what are integers, okay? And we're not going to have a formal definition of this right now because we're going to actually do that in another lesson. But for integers, what you need to know right now is they are basically the positive numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, and on, and their opposites, which are the negative numbers. So -1, -2, -3, and so on that way. Okay, so how we order and compare integers is by putting the numbers on our number line. So our number line, we've got it right here. 0, always going to be in the middle. Then as you go to the right, you are getting bigger. Every time you're moving to the right on the number line, your numbers are getting bigger. They are increasing in value. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. The numbers get bigger that way. It's the same thing with the negatives too. Over here, -3 is the smallest negative that we have on our number line right now. If you go to the right, you're going to run into -2. -2 is greater than, bigger than -3. Why is that? Because it's further to the right. Okay, so remember, negatives are the opposite of positives. So a bigger negative is going to actually be the smaller number. The smaller negative is going to be the bigger number because it's further to the right. So obviously, if we're going to the right and the numbers are getting bigger, that means when we go to the left, the numbers are going to get smaller. Okay, again, more negative, the bigger negative, the smaller the number is going to be. And of course, on the positive side of the number line, you're just counting down. So if you're counting down and it's positives, you know your number is going to get smaller anyway. All right, to compare and order, what you need to do is plot the numbers you're given on the number line. Then you're going to compare the numbers based on their position on the number line here. And then you're going to use comparison symbols. Remember, you have greater than, which looks like the alligator opening its mouth this way. Then you have less than. Remember, you can remember less than because it looks like an L. Okay, it looks like a little L. And then our last one is equal to, and that's just the equal sign. So let's try an example. First one we want to do is compare. We have -3 and 10. So if we were going to plot this on our number line, -3 is going to be right there. So we'd put a circle right where the -3 is. Now +10. Well, where's +10 going to be? It's going to be somewhere on the number line over this way, right? So we'll just put a circle out here. That would be where +10 would be on your number line. If you continue it on. So now we need to decide which way is the alligator going to go. Is -3 greater than 10, or is 10 greater than -3? Well, look at your number line. Where is the 10 in comparison to the 3? The one that's further to the right is the one that's going to be the bigger one. And remember, your alligator always wants to eat the bigger number, right? So who's on the right? The -3 or the -10? Obviously, I mean, not -10, +10. Obviously, the +10 is on the right, so the +10 is going to be bigger than the -3. And it's kind of common sense too. Anytime a number is positive, when you're comparing it to a negative, the positive one is always going to be larger. All right, next one. We have 2 versus -1. So we can go through and we can plot 2 and -1 on our number line. I'll just erase this here. Okay, 2 is right here on our number line. I'll put a circle there. And you can put the circle above. I'm doing that so I don't have to erase my number line. Or you can put it right on the little intersection right there. And then we have -1. Right there. Now again, we have to decide. Whoever's further to the right is the bigger number. So you go through, okay, there's the -1, Oh, 2 further to the right. So I know obviously that 2 is going to be the bigger number. So we can say 2 is greater than -1. So the alligator's gonna want to open to the 2 because it's greater than. Okay, so we've got -3 is less than 10 and 2 is greater than -1. Notice how I'm reading them going from left to right. That's how you read these. Okay, let's get another example here. So we've done comparing. Now we need to do ordering. All right, with ordering, what you're going to want to do is put all your numbers on your number line. So I'm going to have to actually go through here. You see the ones I've been given to order? 0, -1, 1, and 5. I'm going to go through. I'm going to renumber my number line. I may have to add in a few more spaces there. So I will start here. We got -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that worked. So now let's go through and let's plot our numbers on this number line. 0, let's put a dot here. We have -1, put a dot there. +1, put a dot here. And then 5, put a dot right there on the 5. Now we need to order them. Oh, I forgot to put, we're going to go from least to greatest. So least to greatest. Let me fix this. Least to greatest. And they will tell you in the problem, okay? So least to greatest. That's how we're going to be ordering. So that means from the smallest one to the biggest one. So least to greatest, you're going to go from the left to the right. Because where are the smallest numbers? On the left. So let's look. Our smallest number is going to be the one that's all the way to the left on our number line. And what is that? -1. So our smallest number, -1. Okay. Our next number coming up, so the next largest one, the next one to the right, is going to be 0. So he will come next on our list. Going along our number line here, next one we run into is the 1, so he's next on our list. And then the last one we've got, one who's all the way to the right, is the 5. So notice, 0 is not your smallest number, is it? It's the -1 that's the smallest number. So anytime they tell you to order some integers, you need to make sure you plot them on the number line, because a lot of people will go and put the 0 first because they're just always like, oh, 0 is the smallest. Not the case when you got negatives in that number set. All right, now let's do our next one. We're going to do this one from greatest to least. So if we read the least to greatest, going from left to right, greatest to least, how are we going to read it? Right to left. So we got greatest to least. First step, what are we going to do? Plot our numbers on that number line. So we're going to erase our old ones here. Okay. And it looks like we're going to have to actually change up our number line a little bit because we've got 7, a 0, a -2, and a -3. So I'm going to go over here. I'll extend my number line this way. So 5, we got 6, and then we got 7, and then go this way. And remember, negatives work the opposite of positives. Okay, so now we're going to go through and plot our numbers. First one on our list is 7. So put that right there where the 7 is. Next one on our list, 0. Put a dot on the 0. -2, and then -3. So we've got all our numbers plotted. Now remember, greatest to least. We said we're going to go from the right to the left because we want the bigger numbers in the front of our list. So what's the first number we run into in our list on the right? 7. So that's our biggest one. So we got 7. Okay, now going through here, let's see, what's the next number we run into? 0. So that's the next smallest after 7. Okay, keep on going. Next one we run into is the -2. And then obviously the last one's going to be the -3. So on that one, they actually already gave them to us in order. Didn't have to do much work, did we? Okay, so just remember what you need to do. Plot your numbers on the number line. Then you compare the numbers based on their position. Okay, and if they're just asking you to compare, then you've got to use your greater than, less than, or equal to symbols. And if they ask you to put them in order, then you determine which way you have to go. From left to right, that's least to greatest. From right to left, that's greatest to least. Okay? So now what I want for you to do, you're going to try a couple problems here. Let me write this one. All right. What I'm asking for you to do in your notebooks on your own right now is to compare -5 with -7. So that's using the greater than, less than, or equal to symbols. And then I want you to order 0, 15, -8, and -15. And I want you to go from least to greatest. We'll do that. Least to greatest. Okay? L to G. Least to greatest. So you're going to compare -5 with -7, and then you're going to order 0, 15, -8, and -15 from least to greatest. All right, see you in class.